All right, just getting everything ready. Oh, there I am. Hey, everybody! It's Louis Porter Jr. Here we are for another lovely episode of Transparency Agenda Daily. Today is Wednesday, August 17th. Of course, today being Wednesday, we're going to focus on some awesome stuff that's comic related, but still interesting stuff you can find useful. So I always like the people to know that just because we talk about one topic doesn't always mean that we're going to, not talk about something else. So, boom. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, we're also setting it up that you can live stream and watch it on YouTube, or actually Google Hangouts technically, since it's still Google Hangouts. You can watch it there. There's a link there just in case you like it better. Everybody likes different choices, so that's what I like, giving people choices. So here we go with that. So being Wednesday, of course, we're going to talk comics. This has been a kind of a big comic book day in the sense of information. Like recently, I got some good information. For those who weren't here yesterday, Jim Zub, who we're interviewing on Friday, signed a deal with an agency to promote him in Hollywood, which is something we definitely like to see. We want to see our friends do well. And hey, man, it's a creative field, and it's good that he did that, and that's very impressive. And it's like I said, it's what we want to see. With this episode, it kind of, it always, since it's always about comic books, it's all about the marketing and the business stuff. That's always kind of natural. But I've been noticing people have been, talking about just the whole concept, time-wise. Like, was it better in the past when we were doing comic books, or is it better now? So we kept going back and forth with that. Was it better then, or is it better now? And I think it's an interesting question to ask. I don't think a lot of people are asking that question of, when they thought it was better, or is it actually as bad as we think it is, or is it better than we think it is? So we're going to talk about that today. Just some interesting little topics that came up. Hey, Indira, what's going on? Look, it's Indira, everybody. For those who don't know, the person who just came on, Indira Gale. Indira Gale is my personal nurse. I've been calling her that for years. She's a family friend. But, for anything, she's a trained nurse. So anything's nurse related, I usually call her. So if you ever hear me refer to my personal nurse, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm sure I've used it at least a couple of times in this show. God knows. So it's always nice to see that, people I know are watching my show. It's crazy like that. So what other fun stuff we got going on? All right. So first, let's talk about, let me move my picture out of that. There's nothing more disturbing than watching yourself on the video here than watching yourself on the screen. It's too many versions of me. I don't really see that many versions of me. Let's talk about the business of comics in general and how it pertains to. Well, let's talk about the new thing I just saw. Marvel's comic book Runaways. It's Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan's book that he wrote back in 2003. Yeah, it got a lot of press. It was a hot book for him. It's one of the first ones he got when it came out, and it became very popular, and people liked it. And there was a lot of buzz around it for a long time. So apparently, it just received a series order from Hulu, and that's kind of one of those things. That's like, oh, I didn't expect that coming from Hulu. As we all assumed, Marvel fans, it would be Netflix, and it wasn't. It's Hulu. So it's like, this is interesting. This isn't something I considered. I never thought about Hulu as a place to get Marvel content. So, I don't know why not. And what makes it even more interesting, the person who's actually, I guess, helming this is Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage. And those people are like, well, I don't know them. But, if you're a geeky person like me and a fan of, now don't laugh. If anyone laughs, I might have to come get you for this one. If you're a fan of Gossip Girl, yeah, they were the same people who did that. And, they're now taking over this. And I'm like, okay, maybe this could work. Because that show ran for a long time on CW and did pretty well, or was it WB at the time? I can't remember. And, it's possible, and so Schwartz and Savage are going to run as showrunners. Jeff Loeb, of course, is going to be involved. But it's just one of those weird things. It's like Brian K. Vaughan built this series as a very cool idea that I think was a solid idea. And now they're going to make a TV show out of it. And it's like, I don't know if it's going to be connected to the Marvel Universe. All I know is the series order got picked up. I don't know if they're going to do 7 characters, or if they're going to cut some of this. I mean, there's a lot of history they got to explain, and it could go a lot of different ways. So we're going to see how that one turns out. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see that this kind of stuff is happening, and I love comics, so that's a good thing. That's an interesting, good little tidbit out in the world. Actually, let me check my other website. By the way, if you are a fan or you don't know much about comics, you'll get more into comics. There's a couple websites I would suggest for you to read on a regular basis. Every day. I read newsarama.com. Now I got to put in my notes. Yeah. See what happens? I put in my notes. Newsarama is a well-known, well-respected website. I don't even know how long Newsarama's been on. It's been for a while. I remember it for a while. I can't even tell if it's been 5 or 10 years, but I think it's been at least 10, but I could be going crazy. So, but Newsarama has always had a lot of cool things going on there that you can check out. Let's put that in there. That later. So you can go to Newsarama, and they, every day they give you some kind of big piece of news, and previous stuff. And today's been pretty, it's Wednesday, so it's comic book schedule. It's comic book release day, so the full comic book television release schedule's on there. That's kind of cool. I want to check that out. Okay. Don't know anything about that. Runaways got the order, of course. The first look at Civil War II September tie-in variant covers. Yeah, Kirkman, which I found this interesting. Robert Kirkman, Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, announces he's ending Invincible. So I'm kind of surprised about that. But I think with that, you're going to see most likely that be spun off. I would be surprised if Invincible did not become, a spin-off show or something. That's how it is now. Now they're just spinning off stuff just to make big money, and that thing fits. I think that would fit very, very well within that whole universe of things that would make a bunch of money. See how money is an important factor. So let's see the full TV schedule. It's available online. Let's see what stuff that shows their listing. But it's like, wow, there's a lot of good Lord, there's a lot of shows coming out for superheroes, including currently airing Outcast, Powers, Outcast season 1, Powers season 2, Teen Titans Go season 3. Lucas will love that. Avengers Ultron Revolution season 4, Ultimate Spider-Man vs. the Sinister Six season 4, Preacher season 1, and Dark Matter season 2. And starting in August, you have The Tick is going to be on Amazon, and Fear the Walking Dead. The Tick goes live Amazon on Friday, and Fear the Walking Dead is on Sunday. And then in September, we're going to have the release of Gotham season 3, Lucifer season 2, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4, and Luke Cage, the one we're all waiting for. Let's not kid anybody. That's the one we care about. It's going to be season 1 on Netflix. That's going to be awesome. Please be awesome. I mean, please be awesome. Please be awesome. So October, we got The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, DC Legends are tomorrow on CW. I keep saying WB, but and of course, if it's October, it means Walking Dead will make their next season 7. I'm surprised it's been that long. And then they have unspecified mid-season replacements. Riverdale, the Archie comics one, that's going to be in there. Powerless, which I think they just recently announced they lost somebody from there, actually one of the main guys. iZombie, Legion, which is that I don't know how Legion's going to do. I'm really kind of scared about that. Justice League Action, which on Cartoon Network, which I don't know what that's going to be, and Vixen season 2 on CW Seed. And then for 2017, Freedom Fighters The Ray on season 1, which they made the characters come out as being gay, which I was like, what? When did that happen? So that's something else they're going to be doing. Preacher season 2, Iron Fist, so soon. Defenders, Guard of the Galaxies, season 2, the animated one, not the movie. DuckTales, DuckTales. They're doing DuckTales on Disney XD. Ooh, that's freaky. Big Hero 6 is getting a season on Disney. Wino Earp is getting season 2 on Sci-Fi. And Tales from the Crypt are coming on TNT. I can't imagine, Tales from the Crypt coming back for anything. But, oh, my God. There's some muscle stuff for 2018. Hilda, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Punisher, all 2018. They're not sure. Currently in production, we've got Ant-Man, Damage Control, Heroes and Villains, The History of Comic Books, Season 1 on AMC. I didn't even know about that. It might be something interesting to check out. Krypton for sci-fi, which we know some the Superman. Rocket and Groot for Disney XD. Scalped. Oh, I didn't know that. Scalped. Jason Aaron wrote a book called Scalped. I picked up a couple issues of it. I didn't really get as far as into I wanted to. It's about life on an Indian reservation with some gambling, some crime, and it's on WG. Now I'm interested. Now the book was interesting. I think Jason Aaron, he's currently writing Thor. He's one of those kind of writers that I didn't know much about him before. I read his initial run on Thor, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, you got to read it." And I was like, "What? I don't know this guy. He's not any good." I'm putting him in the notes because you should know who he is. And they were like, "You got to read this book." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not a huge Thor fan, but I read Thor like any normal person would. I read it when it was popular back in the '80s when Walt Simonson was writing it, and Walt Simonson did an amazing run on Thor. I mean, anybody who knows the Simonson run on Thor, it's awesome. It tells me, no, you got to read it. It's that good. So I was like, wow, okay. I said, let me check it out. Yeah, it was that good. It was amazing. Wow, it was amazing. Amazing how good it was. I mean, I don't know about all of the other books, but he got Thor on a level that I don't think most guys understood how to write a character like that. And he jumped on it. It was awesome, and the whole run was awesome. All 4 trades. Yeah, the first 4 trades, it's like God Killer was the first one, which is amazing. Amazing. I keep saying the word amazing. You guys thinking like, oh, what does he mean amazing? No, it is amazing. It was awesome. That's what you should do when you release a good comic book. That's how good it should be. So that got that excited. So yeah, so it's just something to think about, so this other stuff. Let me go back to the new drama. And there's tons of stuff in Scalp, and then entitled X-Men series for Fox. And here's all the stuff that's in development. And this list is as long as my arm. #4Hero, I don't know what that is. Amped, don't know what that is. Astronaut Academy, don't know what that is. Black Magic, don't know what that is. Briggs Land. Brooklyn Animal Control. Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. That used to be the Family Network for ABC, or what? It's their comic one. I remember that. Concrete. Now, I don't believe Concrete's ever getting off the ground, but this is a personal issue. DC Heroes Project. Deadly Class, if it happens, I'll be surprised. The Disciplines, don't know. Dreadstar, Empire of the Dead, Essex County, 5 Ghost, Happy, Harrow County, Hawaiian Dick. Wow. Someone pitched Hawaiian Dick. Hawaiian Dick might be on NBC. And if you're like, what's Hawaiian Dick? You got to find the comic book for it. It's kind of crazy. It's like, wow. Runaways, Hulu, Lazarus, Lever 44, Rowls, Red, Scarlet, Sex Criminals, which someone finally explained it to me. I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. Sinataro, which I don't know what that is. Southern Bastards, which is Jason Aaron's other book, I believe, if I'm correct. So you might want to check that out. Static Shock. Static Shock. Umbrella Academy. I'm sorry. Watchmen. I don't believe that. The Wicked and Divine, possibly. Why the Last Man has been in development forever. Untitled Marvel comic, and Untitled John Ridley Mystery Marvel Superhero Reinvention Series. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means. That's just I'm talking. So that's the fun stuff going on there. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna close that window because that's been talked about. So, but apparently, today and yesterday, I guess this was yesterday too. There've been a lot of talking. ICV2 has been talking and interviewing a lot of the business guys about comics and what's going on and the sales. So they talked to Marvel Senior Vice President of Print Sales and Marketing, Marvel Publishing Worldwide, David Gabriel. And this is at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a 3-part interview, and it's on ICV2. You can find it. I'll probably put a note. Boom. Since you all are interested, this is actually kind of important. And you'll find it well worth it. He's talking about the industry as a whole. And I like a lot of things he's saying as the industry as a whole. And it looks like everything's going well. And, that's important. That is important in this business. But at the same time, I always wonder. It's like, he was saying some stuff that I didn't totally agree with, but not because of what he was saying, but more of the mindset of it. It's kind of like, okay, when I was a kid, I remember reading comic books. I had a real great time reading them. It was amazingly fun. Everything was awesome. And now reading them as an adult, yeah, I know there's a typical time shift. I'll never be as good as when I was a kid because nothing's ever as good when you're young. But it's all perception. But the quality of the books themselves have not been as strong as they could have been. And the reason I believe that, and I wholeheartedly believe that, is that, okay, when I got into comic books, there was a transitional period where you bought comic books, you read them, and then you went on to other products. Comic books were like the feeder into this whole world of comic books, gaming, everything that I saw. That was like the first easy step. I don't see that happening now. I don't see there being a young person's level, entry level comic book for kids. Because most comic books today are not made for children. They're not made for, I'd say young teens, like 10 and younger. I think that's something that has not been in focus for a long time. I think people have decided it's better to go for the, mature young teen to, young adult and up, and forget about that young kids who could become fans. And this also goes back to the same problem I always have, and I repeat this several times. I want everyone to know that it's impossible for a mother of 3 to afford buying comic books if they're $4 a piece. No mother's going to spend $12 on 3 comic books. It just mentally won't happen. That is a mental block between mothers and children. That's as a problem, and it needs to be fixed. Well, not even needs to be. It has to be fixed, or we're not going to have another generation of people reading comic books because there's not a reason to it. Why would they? Oh, I can't read a comic book, so I'll play video games instead. And people are like, well, video games cost $60. Yes. And there's tons of replay, and there's tons of information that gets transferred by people playing. And, it's amazing. I didn't understand. Well, I did understand, but I didn't realize it. I just recently bought a new game system. I bought an Xbox One. I haven't bought a system in more than a decade. I wanted to crack down. I wanted to play one video game, UFC 2. I just wanted a fighting game. That's all I wanted. But then with the online component to it, there's so many people playing it, and just the attitude, and it's kind of cool. And now I get why people love playing the game. I get it. I understood, but I didn't get it. But now I actually get it. So where's the comic book version of that? Where is the ability to tap into people relatively young and inexpensively, get them hooked on comic books, and you have them for the rest of your life? I mean, gaming, we always say the old joke for gamers is, I got involved with gaming so I can't afford drugs. Because, that's how it was. I collected comic books and in gaming, all my money went to comic books and gaming. I didn't have money for drugs. It's impossible. Good Lord, man. My habit of paper is just as expensive as like real drugs. And I got to fix every Wednesday from a dealer who's more than happy to give me another dose. So like, yes, come on in. Get your little book dose. Smell the paper. Oh, get your high. Okay, give me that money. And then they send you on your way. It's crazy, but that's what happens. And that's what it is. So it's interesting and weird, but there is no young person's way of getting into it. And I think that is a part that's been lacking in the industry for a long time. And that's something that needs to be looked at even in our own industry, because you see what's happening now. I've seen that more people, I think Daniel Solis, look at that, pulled it right out of the air. Daniel Solis, who has done some very terrific games, some terrific card-based games. He did that Happy Birthday Robot, which I believe, am I right with that? Happy Birthday Robot was his first one. Yep, look at that. Porter, you're good. You're good. Happy Birthday Robot was his first young kids one that was really focused on kids, and he's built on that. And he's really been like another premier person who is doing awesome games, awesome stuff, but is also approaching young people and how to get them involved with gaming. And that's it. That's the piece. How to get young people involved in gaming, to get them interested, to make them long-term players. And he's figured out, this is a small thing he's done. Like, he has currently a ton of games available. Some of them are really, really awesome. He has this one thing that I thought was a brilliant idea. It's really simple, and it's not really complex, but I guess writers will appreciate it. It's a thing called Writer's Dice. And it's just regular dice. It's still available for sale? No, they're sold out. Oh, what a shame. And basically, when you're telling a story, you roll the dice and you go, and it says like, it has and, as, if, so on the dice. So you roll them and it helps continue your story. It's a simple little gimmick, but I think it's a great gimmick. And I was hoping, he'd do some more. But apparently he's not done some more. I'm kind of upset about that, because he is, awesome at that. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Solis' design. Daniel apparently is also a graphic designer. So, of course, me, I have that love of other designers. So let's see, his creative stuff. And he's very, very creative. He's got a great style of stuff. He also loves playing games and, card games. And I think that's another piece. We've got to figure out how to get more people into games. And if it's card games or whatever it is, that gets them started on playing games with SLF, get them involved in the industry, it's only good for us in the long term, because the more people like it, the more people get involved, the more stuff that gets made. That's how it is. The healthier the industry is. Now, people are saying the industry is incredibly healthy. I'm always one of those. I don't always trust how healthy the industry is. People say it's healthy, but I'm not trusting it 100%. But it happens. It happens. It happens. But the industry is what the industry is. Take it with a grain of salt. And everybody's got a perspective of why they think some things are good and some things are bad. But I think retailers are happier now. Products are selling better. People seem to have a little more money in their pocket. There seems to be a little more money going out in the store, so that's always a positive thing. Yeah, I mean, we all want the same thing. We all want positive sales and stores doing well. But the more stores do well, the more stores we do well. And I think it's important. It's all interconnected. So the article that's with David Gabriel is very, very interesting. If you want to understand more about the business, and I think that's a lot of people don't get time to talk about. And he talks about the connection with Barnes and Noble and how that's affected sales of trade paperbacks. And there's a lot of good information in here that you can go through and just get some interesting stuff. Like, they did a piece which still blows my mind when you think about it. Comics and graphic novel sales top 1 billion. $1 billion in sales is a lot of money. I mean, that's crazy when you think about that. So, it's like, and they think there's going to be more growth next year, which is like, holy cow. So, we are living in the golden age of nerd culture in the best way possible. I dreamed about something like this when I was a kid. I never thought it was going to ever happen. I mean, come on, man. Someone told me, oh yeah, of course. Gaming, which I thought was very geeky, will be, mainstream before you know it. I wouldn't have believed it. You're going to have shows, good comic related shows. I wouldn't have believed you, because it sounds crazy, because, hey man, who think I have no good shows? Comic books don't do good shows. You get this horrible thing on the side that's kind of a mutant thing, and it's good enough, and that's what you get a lot of. But no, the quality has gotten better. The stories they're telling have gotten better. Well, they're also telling stories that are 30 years old, but I'm not going to get into that argument right now. But right now we're just going to talk about the business currently. And as much as I love the business now, I have also realized, which hurts me saying it like this, that I am not the person that they are thinking about when they're making the products. It hurts to say that as a collector of comic books for over 30 years, but Marvel, DC, they don't care. They don't care about me. I'm not the target market. I am much older than the target market's ever been. I'm an old guy reading old books, trying to get that same charge I got when the first time I read it. It's been 10, 20, 30 years on some of this stuff. So I don't think even, it's even possible. I think as a lover of comics, I have to go outside of the mainstream books and try some more independent stuff. And I think the same thing with gaming. You start with Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or whatever, something like that, and then you branch out to see what else is out there. And I've always been a mainstream guy when it comes to stuff. I like certain genres more than others, but I try not to stay away. I try to stay away from too many like very esoteric kind of games. And I would never, at least not for me. It's not my thing. Like LARPing is not my thing. So I would not be interested in that. But I know people do it, and I've watched it, and it's kind of the best way for me. It's like acting in a play. That's what I feel like it's like. It's like acting in a play, and people who do like plays and act would be very, very interested to do live action. I just never saw it as powerful as some people. I mean, White Wolf made $1 bazillion on that whole concept, and it worked well for them. I don't think it worked well for me, but it worked well for them. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Because it is what it is. So yeah, check out ICV2. A lot of good information. There's also another interview. This is when I only got partially through. This is the one from IDW's Ted Adams. This is another person. Once again, he's a CEO of IDW Media Holdings, just talking about what's going on and stuff like that, and his business, what he feels. And like I said, I think everybody's in a very positive vibe of the industry, because I mean, let's be honest. it is successful. The movies have made comic books successful. They've made the stuff cool. They made the stuff cool, and so it's like, hey, you know, I just want to see more cool stuff. I always want to see more cool stuff. So, you know, I think if you're creative and you want to do creative stuff, now's the time to be doing it, because everybody's going out of the way to make some awesome stuff. So why aren't you? You know, we're doing awesome stuff. Ooh, excuse me. See, I'm getting old and tired already. You know, people are doing awesome stuff. So why aren't you doing more awesome stuff? Why aren't you seeing more awesome stuff? Why aren't you creating more awesome stuff? Beautiful. You know, now's the time. It doesn't matter if you're in comics or RPGs or whatever. Now's the time for you to be creative. So be creative. Get out there, hustle it, make some awesome stuff, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. It's fun for everybody, including yourselves. Wow, I just saw something. Okay, this is funny, but this is like a little side thing, but I think people will get this totally. Apparently, Antonio Vargas turned 70. Now, anybody who said, who's Antonio Vargas, I'm going to slap you for that one already. But then if I say, oh, Antonio Vargas, you mean Huggy Bear. Then everybody goes, oh, of course, I know Huggy Bear. Oh, yeah, see, there you go. You didn't know his real name, which makes it, you know, even funnier. It was like, dude, he had a name. You know, he's a legitimate guy. But apparently he is 70. I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, talk about, you know, something I didn't see happening. But I love Huggy Bear. And let's be honest. We all knew Huggy Bear was a pimp on the show. They didn't want to say pimp. We used the word hustler. But Huggy Bear was always a pimp. And I respect that. I respect the pimpitude of Huggy Bear. I mean, you know, Starsky and Hutch was a great show. If you don't think so, you're stupid. But that's just me. What can I say? Come on. Well, maybe not the actual city was awesome. But the show was great. I mean, you know, Starsky and Hutch. Who didn't watch it as a kid? You know, if you're of my age, you know, you saw it, you watched it, you were there. You're like, what is this show? This is awesome. You know, oh my God, I got to see more of it. And what made it funny for me, which I didn't find out till much later, is like the well-known and well-respected writer Michael Mann cut his teeth on Starsky and Hutch. So it's like, you know, you never know. You never know where people start and where they end up. So, you know, don't be surprised. You could start anywhere and still be awesome. Being awesome is being awesome. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. It's another light episode. We're doing these 30-minute episodes. I'm trying to stick to this 30 minutes, make it, you know, very, very strict. I'm glad that you all are here. I appreciate you coming by. As always, do us a favor, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. The link will be in the description below here, or off to, it'll still be off to the side. I think off to the side in Google. Subscribe to our YouTube page. We get a lot of information from analytics. It's very, very important. We wish you to subscribe. We need that information. It's very, very helpful. I cannot say it enough. Also, don't forget Friday night, 9 o'clock, the Jim's Up interview. I think it's going to be really a lot of fun. I'm writing some questions right now. I'm reading some stuff of his. So I can ask him some questions about the book specifically, and not just talk all business. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first 10, 15 minutes are probably going to be some fluffy comic-related stuff, but the rest is going to be like hardcore business questions. And, you know, if anybody knows anything about Jim, Jim is all about helping retailers get his product in there and does stuff that way and really approaches it from that perspective. So I think a lot of people will find something interesting and useful that you can use. And I stole some ideas for myself. So, you know, hey, good ideas, steal stuff. It's good information. And best of all, it's Friday night. If you're not going out and you're not going to gaming, why not watch? It's going to be awesome. We're going to be awesome. I don't know about you guys. We're going to be awesome on this. I'm just telling you that right now. All right. I'm getting out of here because I'm going to put this thing up, clean it up, and do some other stuff. And then I'm going to bed. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I just released that while I'm working on our Neo Exodus stuff and our Crisis stuff, I've decided to collect our little series, The Chronicles of the Gatekeeper we did for Pathfinder. It was a great series. Michael McCarthy did a great job on that. So I'm decided to collect it into one book and just print it. And maybe, I don't know if I'm going to do it as a PDF, or will only be exclusive as a print-on-demand book at RPG Now. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try it out, see what I like. We're going to go from there. And that's how I handle those problems. All right, everybody. You have a good night, and we appreciate, as always, coming by. We'll see you tomorrow. Talk to you later.